The Child Sexual Abuse Investigative and Interview Protocol is a process which avoids contamination of evidence and re-traumatizing survivors while investigating cases relating to abuses. In this report, Josu examines the coordination of the process and its impact on the justice system. Her report.
After sexual assault on children, survivors face threats and intimidation from perpetrators, warning them not to report, which makes the brave ones who decide to report the incident encounter rejection, disbelief, and sometimes physical punishment from parents or guardians. According to data from Lagos State, about 64% of all sexual and gender-based violence issues involve the defilement of children as young as 6-month-old, hence the need for comprehensive reform to support vulnerable survivors.
The whole purpose of forensic interview is to facilitate quicker and more effective interview of child sexual abuse cases. And what is the impact of duplicative fragmented, crude questioning of children? It often leads to contamination of evidence. And when there's a contamination of evidence, there can be no justice.
We have to avoid re-traumatizing children. We want to move past traditional means of asking questions because lives are on the line, like I said. And you have to be intentional because we also have to be safe while doing that. We also have to be effective while doing that. We also have to ensure that people who are doing that, they are taking the survivor-centered approach. They are also using trauma-centered approach to ensure that help is on the way, justice is happening at the same time.
As a judge at the Lagos State High Court, Justice Rahman Oshodi explains the effect of multiple interrogations at police stations, hospitals, and in the courtroom, emphasizing that the introduction of forensic interview protocol will allow best practices from multiple disciplines into collaborative framework.
There's a problem with the child telling these stories over and over again. But then they now come to court. That's the ultimate test. It tests the endurance of the child. It's an alien, intimidating environment where defense counsel would now attempt to undermine and discredit the testimony during harsh cross-examination. Some of the children break down. Many of them cry because the child is saying something and feels we do not believe.
These experts in their different professions who acknowledge the difficulties in identifying child sexual abuse because of no other witnesses except the survivors and perpetrators also seek more support for victims.
All the stakeholders will be observing the interview. And while the interview is going on, if they have questions for the survivor, because the survivor will never get to see them, they will speak to a microphone or to a phone which the interviewer will pick, and they will inform the interviewer, I have this question for the child, and the interviewer will answer that question. And they'll get their answers. And if they have further questions, they ask the question. And after the interview, there's post-interview consultation in which everyone will discuss their findings on the interview. And there is a forensic interview report which documents the findings from the interview and agreed upon by the multidisciplinary team. And since it's digitally recorded, there is no controversy about it, there's no debate. All you need to do is to request for the recording, and it's encrypted layer by layer, is the raw extract.
We are seeking help and we are also pursuing justice. Now, this is not the time for you to withdraw empathy. This is not the time for you to withdraw care. This is not the time for you to withdraw the love. This is not the time for you to be judgmental or victim blame. And we also have to be intentional. And trauma-informed care, trauma-informed services, survivor-centered care for these people.
In the process of interviewing survivors, they advise investigators to embrace child safeguarding policies.
Interviewing a child itself is a skill. Child forensic interview is conducted in an age-appropriate and developmentally sensitive manner. Because the training on child forensic interview includes child developmental considerations, child linguistic considerations, and then quicker and more investigative investigation instead of clashing of programs and logistics. Everybody comes together at an agreed time.
Despite the efforts of government and all stakeholders in curbing the scourge in the society, agencies still record more cases. Experts therefore say child sexual abuse should be seen and treated as other life-threatening diseases. Maugbe Josu, LTV News.